What's up, everybody, and welcome back to another episode of Mets Season Review for the month of September and the final one for the 2019 season. Well, just like that, the Mets season is now over. Sadly. Yes, we did not make the playoffs, as I predicted in our last update video for August, but they were in the hunt. They as I've mentioned probably in the last video, they did get to about a half game out. It's just what happened as always. And the same thing that I've been preaching about for the whole year, and that is their bullpen, sadly. And their bullpen just, frankly, the freaking bed. They the bed. And that's really what it comes down to and why they didn't make the playoffs, because they did hit pretty much the entire year. And well, I don't think they would have gotten far in the playoffs if they actually did make it, but nevertheless, they should have been in the playoffs and they should have made it. So enough about that little rambling part. Let's move on to the new face of the franchise, and that is Pete Alonso. Man, Pete freaking Alonso he's so freaking awesome. I can't believe he tied the rookie home run record with Judge on Friday, and then on Saturday, boom. I think it was the bottom of the fifth or bottom of the third inning, he got it. He freaking hit a bomb out to right center field. Yeah, right center field, and he got the record. And I'm really happy for him. I'm also excited that we actually, we actually hold, a record actually for something good for this season. But really happy for Pete Alonso. I think he's really the future of the franchise. Him and McNeil and Conforto and Rosario, we need to build around those core four guys. If they can keep them for a long time and just figure out this freaking bullpen for once and for all, can we have a good freaking bullpen? If they can do that, we can be good for a very long time. And now, with that being said, I hope you can't be going off trading Conforto or trading a Syndergaard in the offseason. You can't do that. You got to build back up this bullpen. And we're going to need a third baseman, but we're probably going to move McNeil to third base next year because Todd Frazier's gone. So, and then we have Cano at second for another 4 years. God help us. And then we got Rosario at short, and that's a solid infield right there. But then what we really need is a everyday center fielder. That's what we really need, and we need a young catcher, because after the 2020 season, Ramos is gone, and man, Ramos had a really solid year this year, really good season. So I really like Ramos coming back. I really like Ramos. I really do like him. I hated him on the Nationals because he would always beat up on the Mets, but I really do like him as a Met, and I do like him as a player. And I think this season, even though we didn't make the playoffs, they did have an awesome comeback from being 11 games under 500 to end up finishing the season over 500. I think with 84, 86-ish wins around there. That's from where they were. That's really awesome from where they were. From expectation-wise, that's disappointing. Expectation-wise, they should have won 90-plus games. They should have been in 95 win area. And just think, if they didn't... I saw some stats. This was a few months ago, but this is a lot higher now. They have blown 30 games. They have 30 blown games from the bullpen. Imagine if those games were not blown by the bullpen, how good... We would have the best record in baseball right now. We would be basically the Astros right now. And we'll get to the Astros in a moment when I give you guys my playoff picks. So, and then now moving on to the pitching, as I've mentioned earlier, we got to do something about this bullpen. Hopefully they get a bounce back year from Familia and Diaz next year. As of right now, Diaz, he's no longer a closer. We got to get a closer this offseason. I don't know who's out there. I got to look. Once the season's actually over, that's when we'll get into predictions of what I think they should do. But for as of right, Diaz is no longer the closer. He's nothing. He has to build everyone's confidence back. And Familia, I think he just had a bad year because he had a good year last year. And then going to the starting pitching, We got Stroman for another year. We got Jacob freaking DeGrom gonna win a back-to-back Cy Young awards. That's gonna be freaking awesome when he gets that in a few months. Syndergaard, disappointed here, ERA over 4. Hopefully he's still a Met by the opening for next season, because if you want to contend next year, we freaking need him. We need him. And Stroman, I like Stroman. He's a solid three guy in the rotation. And then we got Mr. Overrated, Steven Matz. I mean, Steven Matz, he had a full healthy year. His ERA was over 4. I mean, as everyone knows, I'm not the biggest Steven Matz fan, but we are going to need him next year if we want to win. And few final words, I think the most improved player is obviously Amed Rosario. Batting 280, 75 RBIs. I think he had 20 home runs this year. Freaking solid year from Rosario. And I've been a Rosario doubter, and man, he really impressed me this year. And obviously the MVP of the season is obviously Pete Alonso. The Cy Young winner for the Mets and probably for the National League is Jacob DeGrom. And yeah, even though we didn't make the playoffs, it was still a fun season. Even though I didn't watch as many games as I would have wanted to. But that's just adulthood. So now, let's move on to the playoffs. Okay. For the National League, we got the St. Louis Cardinals, the Atlanta Braves, the Milwaukee Brewers, the Washington Nationals, and the LA Dodgers. And then for the American League, we got the Minnesota Twins, the New York Yankees, the Tampa Bay Rays, the Oakland A's, and the Houston Astros. So now, we got the first wildcard game on Tuesday, and I'm pretty sure that is the National League side. So we got the Brewers and Nationals. And obviously, Max Scherzer is going to be starting that game. I don't know who's going to be starting for the Brewers, but for who I'm going to pick, since how hot the Brewers have been, they've been even hotter ever since Yelich got hurt, which is amazing to me because I thought they were done and then the Mets are going to get that spot. But obviously that didn't work out. I'm picking the Brewers on this one. I just think they are just such the hottest team right now. I just think they're going to beat the Nationals. And plus, I hate the freaking Nationals, so they got to lose. Okay, so now moving on to Wednesday's game, October 2nd. And that is going to be the American League side. And that is going to be Tampa Bay and the Oakland A's. So for that game, I think I'm going to go with the Oakland A's. The Oakland A's have a really good bullpen. They have a solid lineup and a really, an all-around better team, in my opinion, than the Tampa Bay Rays. So I'm going to go with the A's for that. So now, moving on to the division series for the National League. So I want to go start with the series that's already set in stone, and that is the St. Louis Cardinals versus the Atlanta Braves, best out of 5. So I think I want to go with the St. Louis Cardinals for this series. I think the Cardinals are going to win this series. It's probably going to take them 4 games. It'll take them 4 games to win this series from the Braves. I'm just going to be choosing them just because they're just a hotter team and they have a better lineup. But the Braves, don't get me wrong, the Braves could win this series. The Braves are a solid team. They got Freeman, Alves, and Ronald Acuna. They got really good starting pitching. They got a solid defense. But I just think the St. Louis Cardinals are just a better hitting team, and they're just a hotter team right now, where that's what I think gives them that edge. Okay, so now moving on to the next series, which will be the Dodgers versus the National League wildcard winner, which I'm going to go with are the Brewers. But my prediction is whoever wins that, they're going to lose to the Dodgers, probably in 3 games. The Dodgers are the best team in the National League, as they always pretty much are. Okay, so now moving on to the American League, and we are going to be having the Minnesota Twins versus the Yankees. So now this is a difficult choice, even though the Yankees are a very solid team. Don't get me wrong, they're a good team. The reason why I'm saying it's difficult, the Twins had a really solid year as well. The Twins have won. I'm pretty sure they won 100 games this year. If I'm not wrong, they won 100 games this year. But I just think the freaking Yankees always kick the Twins behinds in the playoffs. Usually 3 games, sweep them out. But that's when the Twins are usually more of a weaker team. I think this one's going to be a little bit more on the difficult side. So I'm going to say this Yankees are going to win this series in 4 games. I'm going to say it's going to be 4 games. The Yankees are going to take care of business against the Twins. So now we're going to be going to the Houston Astros versus whoever wins the American League wildcard game. And the same thing with the Dodgers. The Houston Astros are the best team in baseball, and they're going to have home field advantage throughout the whole playoffs. And obviously, I'm going to be picking the Astros in this series. I think the Astros will be taking care of business, just like the Dodgers, winning them in 3 games. 3 games, boom, they're going to be done. And then they're going to make it to the championship series. Okay, so now, assuming my picks are correct in this video, we're going to be having more videos at the end of each. So the end of the division series, both division series, there's going to be another video with new picks. Even if they're still the same pick, even though my predictions come correct, I'm going to have new picks. As injuries could happen, things can change. And things probably will change because it's baseball. You can't predict baseball. Okay, moving back to National League. I'm going to be going with, it's going to be the Cardinals and Dodgers. Now this could be a very fun series to me. Nice 2 highly motivated, highly respected franchises going against each other. And I'm going to say the Dodgers are going to win this series out of 7 games. I think this is going to be a hard, tough series against the Cardinals and Dodgers. I can see this series going back and forth, and I'm going to pick the Dodgers in 7 for the championship series. Okay, moving on to the American League. Houston Astros versus Yankees. Again, 2 highly respected franchises going against each other, and a nice rematch from 2017. But I think the Houston Astros, since they do have that home field advantage, that's the only reason why I'm going to be picking the Astros in this series, is because of the home field advantage. Now, if you remember, and I certainly do remember, for when they played against the Yankees in 2017, they got their asses whooped when the Astros were away and the Yankees were home. The Yankees do have a home field advantage when they're home. There's no doubt in that. Because Yankee Stadium is a tiny stadium and it works to the Yankees' advantage. But my one thing is, the only Yankees kryptonite is their starting pitching. They do not have the starting pitching. Their bullpen's always killing it. They don't have the starting pitching. And I've been saying this since 2010 after their last World Series. They haven't had the starting pitching to do it in the past 9 years. And that's why they haven't won a World Series in almost a decade. Oh, it's been a decade now because it's 10 years. I'm just going to say because the Astros do have a weaker bullpen. There could be a little trade-off there, but I just feel since the Astros are more of a all-around hitting team, they don't strike out, they always put the ball in play, they always make things happen, and the Yankees are a home run-heavy team. That's why I'm going to pick I'm going to pick the Astros to win the championship series. Okay, so now moving on to the World Series. It'll be Dodgers and Astros, a rematch of 2017. And I'm gonna say, and the Yankees. Let me backtrack a little bit. I'm gonna say that Yankees Astros series is gonna go probably to a Game 7 as the last one did. And plus, as a fan, I love watching these full series. So this is gonna be a theme. This is gonna be a theme in my World Series pick as well. And then now, moving back to the World Series, I'm gonna be saying the Astros are gonna be winning the World Series in 7 games versus the Dodgers. And I'm going to be picking the Astros as the reason why I picked them over the Yankees. They got the starting pitching, man. They got the starting pitching and they got the hitting. If everyone hitting stays healthy throughout the playoffs, I think the Astros are going to beat the Dodgers again in the World Series in 7 games. And then the Astros are going to be your 2019 World Series champs. And I think that's how the playoffs is going to go. Obviously something's going to change. I'm probably going to be wrong on one of my picks. But there is going to be another video for once the division series wraps up. Just because I think the wildcard teams are going to be eliminated in the division series. That's how I think it's going to be. Even if I'm wrong on the wildcard picks, I think they're not going to make it past the Dodgers or the Astros. They're just too good of a team to be beat, in my opinion. So there's the next update video is going to be at the end of Division Series, and I'm going to give you my updated picks for the Championship Series. Even if it's still the same teams, I'm going to give my updated thoughts and opinions on all that stuff. And that pretty much wraps up this video. I'm probably going to have another video on more, if anything changes on the Mets managerial side, and you guys know how I feel about that. They should fire Callaway and hire Joe Girardi. If anything happens with that, expect there to be another video or some sort of update either on my Instagram page or on YouTube or both. I'm not entirely sure. So make sure to follow me on social media. The links are down below. So that wraps up today's episode of Mets Season Review for 2019. If you like this video, please make sure you hit that like button. And if you want to see more videos like these, please consider subscribing. If you don't, you're missing out on a lot of awesome videos. So with that being said, I hope you guys enjoy the rest of your day, and I'll see you guys in the next video. Bye!